Welcome to my YouTube channel, Clarity Code. In this channel you will find audiobooks. Let's start. Introduction. Stop waiting for a sign. The sign is the fact that you are still unfulfilled. Most people spend their lives preparing to live, but they never actually start. Today, that cycle ends. This is not a suggestion, it is a blueprint for the total takeover of your own mind. If you think it, you get it, not through wishing, but through an ironclad psychological demand. You are either the architect of your reality or the victim of your excuses. There is no middle ground. Listen closely, because the person you were 5 minutes ago is already becoming obsolete. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Law of Mental Command. Listen to me very carefully. Your mind is not a debate club. It is not a democracy. It is a loyal soldier. From the moment you woke up this morning, your mind has been waiting for orders. The problem is, you haven't been giving them. Or worse, you've been giving the wrong ones. You wake up and you say, "I'm so tired." What does your mind do? It doesn't argue. It doesn't say, "Actually, you got 7 hours of sleep, you're fine." No. It obeys. It begins to shut down your systems. It makes your eyelids heavy. It creates a fog in your brain. It searches for reasons to prove you right. By the time your feet hit the floor, you have already lost. Why? Because you commanded a loss. You have a choice. Every single thought you entertain is a directive sent to the headquarters of your reality. Most people live in a state of mental anarchy. They let their feelings run the show. They let their environment dictate their internal state. If the weather is bad, they feel gloomy. If the traffic is heavy, they feel angry. If someone is rude to them, their whole day is ruined. That is not living, that is reacting. That is being a victim of circumstance. That's the key. You are either the commander or the casualty. Let's look at the placebo of failure. Think about the last time you had a big opportunity, a job interview, a first date, a pitch. What was the first thing you did? You visualized the what ifs. What if I stutter? What if they don't like me? What if I'm not qualified? You think you're just being realistic. You're not. You are issuing a formal command to your subconscious to sabotage the event. You are literally rehearsing your own defeat. When you walk into that room and your hands are shaking and your mind goes blank, don't blame nerves. Blame the commander. You told your brain to prepare for a disaster, and your brain delivered exactly what you asked for. It's not about luck, it's about discipline. The discipline of the mind is the only discipline that matters. If you cannot control the narrative inside your own skull, you will never control the numbers in your bank account. You will never control the respect people give you. You will never control your own destiny. You don't need their permission to change the way you talk to yourself. You don't need a degree, you don't need a mentor, and you certainly don't need a good mood to start. You need to understand the law. Your mind does not debate, it obeys. Command it or be conquered by it. Stop saying, "I'll try." Try is a word for people who are already planning their excuse for when they fail. Try is a soft order. Your mind hears try, and it prepares for not doing. When you say, "I will," the body chemistry changes. The posture shifts. The reticular activating system in your brain begins to filter the world differently. It stops looking for obstacles and starts looking for tools. You have a choice. Are you going to be the person who suggests things to their mind, or the person who demands things from it? I want you to look at your life right now. Look at your body. Look at your environment. These are not accidents. These are the physical manifestations of the orders you have been issuing for the last 5 years. If you don't like what you see, Stop complaining about the harvest and start looking at the seeds. The seeds are your commands. If you think it, you get it. But thinking it isn't a wish. It's a psychological demand. It is the unwavering certainty that what you have decided must become a reality. If you want to be a leader, you must speak to yourself like a leader. If you want to be wealthy, you must have the mental architecture of a wealthy person long before the first dollar arrives. That's the key. The internal state must precede the external result. Always. Most people are waiting for the external result to change so they can feel better. They say, "When I get the promotion, then I'll feel confident." Wrong. You will never get the promotion because you are broadcasting the frequency of a subordinate. You are commanding your mind to stay small, to stay safe, to stay invisible. And your mind is doing a great job of keeping you right where you are. It's not about talent, it's about discipline. The discipline to catch a weak thought and kill it before it takes root. The discipline to speak with authority even when you are standing in the middle of a mess. You don't need their permission to be the smartest person in the room. You don't need their permission to be the most focused person in the room. You just need to issue the command. From this moment on, you are the architect. No more. I hope. No more. Maybe. Only. It is. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you talk to your spouse, before you drink your coffee, you issue the orders for the day. You tell your mind exactly how it is going to perform. You tell it that you are relentless. You tell it that you are observant. You tell it that you are a closer. Repetition is the language of the subconscious. If you tell a lie long enough, you'll believe it. If you tell the truth of your future power long enough, you will become it. This is the law of mental command. It is the foundation of everything we are going to build in this book. If you fail here, you fail everywhere. But if you master this, the rest of the world will eventually have no choice but to fall in line with the orders you've already given. You have a choice. Choose to be the master. Choose to be the commander. Choose to stop being a spectator in your own head. You have learned to command your internal soldier. You have set the foundation. But knowing what to command is only half the battle. Most people get stuck because they are too busy looking at the map instead of driving the car. They are paralyzed by the details. You mastered your mind. Now, let's talk about why you need to stop worrying about the roadmap and start moving the needle. Chapter 2: Kill the how to find the why. Listen to me. The greatest lie you've ever been told is that you need a perfect plan to start. You've been told that you need to see the whole staircase before you take the first step. That is a lie designed by the timid to keep the ambitious in check. The how is the ultimate hiding place for cowards. You say you want to build a business, but you spend 6 months researching tax codes and logo colors. You say you want to get in shape, but you spend weeks comparing heart rate monitors and gym memberships. That's the key. You aren't preparing. You are procrastinating. You are using the how as a shield to protect yourself from the do. You have a choice. You can be a researcher of other people's success, or you can be the architect of your own. The obsession with the mechanics of a goal is a sophisticated form of self-sabotage. Your brain loves the how because it feels like work without any of the risk. Researching doesn't require courage. Planning doesn't require grit. But moving? Moving is dangerous. Moving means you might fail. So you stay in the how, and you wonder why your life looks exactly the same as it did last year. It's not about the roadmap, it's about the resolve. Think about the most successful people you know. Do you think they had a 50-page manual on day one? No. They had a why that was so loud it drowned out the silence of the how. They didn't know how they were going to pay the rent, they just knew the rent was going to be paid. They didn't know how the technology would work, They just knew the problem had to be solved. When the internal demand is absolute, the external path has no choice but to reveal itself. You don't need their permission to start before you are ready. In fact, if you feel ready, you've waited too long. When you focus on the how, you are operating from a place of lack. You are telling the universe that you don't have enough information, enough money, or enough talent. But when you focus on the what and the why, you are operating from a place of command. You are declaring the destination. The GPS doesn't show you the route until you put in the address. Your life is the same way. Set the address. The route will calculate as you drive. That's the key. Movement creates information. Sitting still only creates doubt. Look at the entrepreneur who starts with zero capital. They don't have a how. They have a must. Because they must succeed, they find the person, they find the loan, they find the workaround. The how is a byproduct of the why. If your why is weak, any how will seem too difficult. If your why is ironclad, the how becomes a series of small, solvable puzzles. It's not about resources, it's about resourcefulness. Stop asking, how do I do this? Start saying, this is being done. Every time you ask, how, you are admitting you don't believe it's possible yet. Every time you say, it is done, you are forcing your mind to find the bridge between your current reality and your future command. You have a choice. You can be the person who waits for the green lights, or the person who drives until the lights turn green. I want you to look at your to-do list. How much of that list is actually doing, and how much of it is studying how to do? Burn the study guide. Stop watching the tutorials. Stop reading the beginner's guides. You are a beginner because you keep reading beginner's guides. The only way to become an expert is to get punched in the mouth by reality and figure out how to punch back. You don't need their permission to be messy. You don't need their permission to fail on your first attempt. The how will be written in the blood and sweat of your effort, not in the ink of your notebook. That's the key. Results require resolve, not research. When you kill the how, you kill the delay. You eliminate the gap between the thought and the thing. If you think it, you get it, but only if you are willing to step into the fog without a flashlight. The why is the light inside you that makes the fog irrelevant. If you are waiting for a sign, this is it. If you are waiting for a plan, this is it. If you are waiting to feel certain, get used to being disappointed. Certainty is something you forge in the fire of action. It is not something you find under a rock. It's not about being smart, it's about being certain. The world is full of brilliant people who are planning to be great. They are the most dangerous people to be around because they will try to convince you that your lack of a plan is a flaw. It's not a flaw, it's a superpower. It's called speed. While they are calculating the wind speed, you are already across the finish line. You have a choice. Plan to be great, or be great. You have killed the need for a roadmap. You have embraced the chaos of the why. You are moving. But as you move, you will find that the world tries to pull you back. It tries to quiet your roar with its own whispers. People will want to weigh in on your journey. They will want to help you with their opinions. You mastered the how. Now, let's talk about why the loudest voices in your life are often the ones holding you back. Chapter 3: The Silent Cost of Seeking Validation. Stop talking. Right now, stop telling people what you're going to do. Every time you open your mouth to share your big vision with someone who hasn't built anything, you are committing treason against your own future. You think you're looking for support. You think you're looking for feedback. You're not. You are looking for a hit of dopamine because you're too weak to validate yourself. You have a choice. You can have the applause of the crowd, or you can have the keys to the kingdom. You cannot have both. That's the key. Validation is a leak. Imagine your ambition is a pressurized steam engine. Every time you ask someone, "What do you think of this idea?" you are opening a valve. The pressure drops. The energy dissipates. By the time you actually sit down to do the work, the engine is cold. You've already received the psychological reward of the achievement just by talking about it. So your brain loses the hunger to actually execute. It's not about being antisocial, it's about being an architect. Architects don't ask the neighbors what color the foundation should be. They follow the blueprint. When you seek validation, you are handing the pen of your life to people who don't even know how to write their own story. You are allowing their fears, their limited horizons, and their practicality to pollute your frequency. You don't need their permission to be misunderstood. In fact, if everyone understands what you're doing, your vision isn't big enough. Look at the ghosting strategy. The most elite performers on this planet have dark periods. They vanish. They stop posting. They stop answering the "How are you?" texts. They go into a cave of deep work and don't come out until the product is finished. They understand that the silent cost of validation is the death of original thought. If you are constantly checking the mirror of public opinion, you will eventually start dressing your ideas to please the audience instead of serving the mission. That's the key. Privacy is power. What the world cannot see, it cannot sabotage. Think about the friend who tells you to be careful, or don't get your hopes up. They think they are being helpful. They aren't. They are projecting their own scars onto your skin. Every time you seek their approval, you are subconsciously asking for permission to stay at their level. You are saying, "I won't outgrow you if it makes you uncomfortable." Kill that instinct. Your growth is not a group project. It's not about arrogance, it's about discipline. The discipline to sit with your own secrets. The discipline to let your results do the talking. If you have to tell people how hard you're working, you aren't working hard enough. Work should be felt, not heard. When the house is built, everyone will see it. You don't need to narrate the laying of every brick. You have a choice. Be a performer who begs for likes, or a producer who commands respect. You don't need their permission to change your mind, to change your life, or to leave your current social circle behind. The moment you stop seeking validation is the moment you become dangerous. Why? Because you can no longer be controlled. A man who needs nothing from the opinions of others is a man who can do anything. I want you to audit your last 5 conversations. How much of what you said was a status update, designed to make you look good? How many times did you look for a nod of agreement before you finished your sentence? That ends today. From this second forward, your goals are on a need-to-know basis. And guess what? Nobody needs to know. That's the key. If you think it, you get it, but only if you keep the fire contained. A fire that is spread out over a field just smokes and dies. A fire that is contained in a furnace can melt steel. Contain your fire. Stop seeking the lukewarm water of other people's approval to douse your flames. Let them wonder. Let them doubt. Let them gossip. While they are talking about what you might be doing, you are finishing it. It's not about being lonely, it's about being focused. The path to the top is narrow for a reason. It's not built for crowds. It's built for the person who is comfortable in the silence of their own conviction. You have a choice. Feed your ego with compliments, or feed your legacy with accomplishments. You have closed the valves. You have stopped the leaks. You are working in the dark, and your internal pressure is building. You are becoming a person of silence and action. But even in the silence, there is a trap. Most people keep a foot in the old world, just in case. They have a safety net that is actually a spiderweb. You mastered the discipline of silence. Now, let's talk about why your backup plan is the reason your main plan is failing. Chapter 4. Burn the bridge of Plan B. Plan B is the most expensive thing you own. It is the silent assassin of your Plan A. People tell you that having a backup plan is smart. They tell you it's mature. They are wrong. A backup plan is nothing more than a formal admission that you expect to fail. It is a psychological exit ramp that you will inevitably take the moment things get difficult. And let me be clear, things will get difficult. You have a choice. You can have security, or you can have greatness. You cannot have both. That's the key. Safety nets are not there to catch you. They are there to keep you small. As long as you know you have a way out, you will never exert the 100% primal effort required to make your primary vision a reality. You'll give it 80%. You'll give it 90%. But that final 10%, the part where the miracles happen, the part where you break through the brick wall, only comes when your back is against that wall and there is nowhere left to run. It's not about being reckless, it's about being resolute. When the ancient commanders landed on enemy shores, they didn't set up a base and wait for reinforcements. They burned their own ships. They watched the smoke rise and realized there were only two options: win the territory or die on the sand. They didn't have a Plan B. They had a must. Because the option of retreat was physically removed, their minds found a level of strategic genius and ferocity that would have stayed dormant if the ships were still in the harbor. You don't need their permission to be irresponsible with your safety. The world loves to call high performers crazy until their results start looking like genius. Look at your own life. What are you holding on to? Just in case. Is it that job you hate but keep for the benefits? Is it that relationship that's dead but comfortable? Is it that half-measure approach to your business where you're only testing the waters? Stop testing the waters and jump into the deep end. The water is only cold if you stay on the edge. That's the key. Hesitation is the heartbeat of Plan B. When you hesitate, you are looking for the exit. When you commit, you are looking for the solution. If you think it, you get it, but only if you give your mind no other alternative. Your subconscious is an efficiency machine. If it sees a path of least resistance, Plan B, it will guide you toward it every single time the pressure gets high. You have to shut that path down. You have to make the cost of failure so high that your brain refuses to accept it as an option. You have to make success the only way to survive. It's not about luck, it's about discipline. The discipline to eliminate the what-ifs. You don't need their permission to bet it all on yourself. Most people won't support you in this because your commitment shines a light on their own cowardice. They keep their Plan BS, CS, and DS because they are terrified of finding out what they are actually capable of when there is no safety net. They prefer the slow death of security to the sharp risk of victory. You are not. Most people. That's the key. There is no instead. There is only this. I want you to identify your ship right now. What is the one thing you are keeping in your back pocket that allows you to play small? Maybe it's a degree you're not using but keep as a fallback. Maybe it's a savings account you've labeled as emergency, but you're actually using as permission to quit. Burn it. Not literally, but psychologically. Declare to yourself that there is no return. There is no going back to the old way. The old way is dead. It's gone. It's ashes. You have a choice. You can live a life of, "At least I tried," or a life of, "I did it." It's not about the risk, it's about the requirement. Success requires a level of focus that a divided mind can never achieve. If you are thinking about Plan B, you aren't thinking about how to win Plan A. You are splitting your resources. You are fighting a war on two fronts. Stop it. Pull every soldier, every dollar, and every second into the single objective that matters. You don't need their permission to go all in. When you burn the bridges behind you, you'll find that you move forward with a speed you never knew you had. Fear becomes fuel when there's no place to hide. Doubt disappears when it has nothing to feed on. That's the key. Burn the ships or die on the shore. You have cleared the path. There is no retreat. The smoke from your old life is rising behind you, and you are finally moving toward your target with absolute intensity. But as you move, you will realize that you cannot carry your old self into this new territory. You cannot win a new war with an old identity. You burn the bridges. Now, let's talk about the person who is walking across the battlefield. Chapter 5: Identity over Activity. You don't get what you want in this life. You get who you are. Most people spend their entire lives trying to do things to get stuff. They think if they work hard enough, they will eventually have the life of their dreams. They have the formula backward. They focus on the activity when they should be focusing on the identity. If your internal self-image hasn't changed, any external win is just a temporary loan that life will eventually collect with interest. You have a choice. You can be a person who acts like a winner, or you can be a winner. There is a massive difference. That's the key. Activity is what you do, identity is who is doing it. You can give a broke man $1 million, and within 2 years he will be broke again. Why? Because his identity is a broke man. His mind will subconsciously find ways to get rid of the money, bad investments, frivolous spending, loaning it to toxic people, all to return him to the state that matches his internal map. You cannot outperform your own self-image. It is the thermostat of your existence. If the thermostat is set to average, any heat you generate through hard work will be cooled down until you return to 68 degrees. It's not about the hustle, it's about the habit of being. You need to stop trying to be successful and start being the person for whom success is a foregone conclusion. You don't need their permission to change your name, your clothes, your walk, or your talk. You don't need to wait for a bank statement to give you permission to feel wealthy. If you wait for the money to feel rich, the money will never come. The frequency of wanting is the frequency of lacking. As long as you are wanting success, you are telling your mind that you don't have it. And as we learned in Chapter 1, your mind obeys. It keeps you in a state of wanting. That's the key. You must shift from I want to be to I am. Look at elite athletes. They don't just show up to the Olympics and decide to be champions that day. They have been the champion in their minds for a decade. They walked like a champion when they were training in a garage. They ate like a champion when they were broke. They slept like a champion when nobody knew their name. By the time the gold medal is placed around their neck, it's just a formality. The identity was already established. The medal is just the world catching up to the truth. It's not about the goal, it's about the grace. The grace of moving through the world as the person you intend to become. You don't need their permission to delete the old you. That version of you that was scared? That version that needed to be liked? That version that settled for good enough? Kill it. It's a ghost. It's a costume you've outgrown. Every morning you wake up, you have the opportunity to put on a new identity. But most people wake up and reach for the same old rags of yesterday's failures. They put on the same old worries and the same old limitations and wonder why their day feels the same. That's the key. If you think it, you get it, but you have to be it first. I want you to look at your I am statements. What follows those two words determines your entire reality. If you say, I am a procrastinator, You are giving your brain a command to delay. If you say, I am a person who finishes what they start, you are giving your brain a command to execute. Stop describing your current problems and start declaring your future power. It's not about the truth of today, it's about the truth of tomorrow. Your current circumstances are just the delayed echoes of your past identity. They are irrelevant. If you change the identity today, the echoes will change tomorrow. You have a choice. You can be a victim of your past or the creator of your future. You don't need their permission to act above your station. People will call you arrogant. They will say you've changed. They will say, don't forget where you came from. Listen to me, forget where you came from. If where you came from was a place of lack and limitation, why would you ever want to remember it? Your loyalty is to your future, not your history. That's the key. Change the I am to change the I have. When your identity is locked in, the work becomes easy. A marathon runner doesn't have to motivate themselves to run. They run because they are a runner. A billionaire doesn't have to motivate themselves to look for deals. They do it because that is who they are. When the activity matches the identity, friction disappears. You stop pushing against life and start pulling life toward you. It's not about the effort, it's about the essence. Who are you when no one is watching? That is the person who is determining your bank account. That is the person who is determining your health. You have a choice. You can keep trying to do more, or you can decide to be more. You have transformed your identity. You are moving with the weight and authority of your new self. You have burned the bridges and you are focused on the mission. But as you begin this new life, you will find that everyone wants a piece of you. Everyone wants your time. Everyone wants your energy. You mastered who you are. Now, let's talk about how to protect the time that your new self requires to build a kingdom. Chapter 6: Radical Ruthlessness with Your Time. Time is the only thing you are born with that you cannot earn back. You can lose $1 million and make it back by next Tuesday. You can lose a business and build a bigger one by next year. But when you lose an hour, it is gone forever. It is a portion of your life that you have effectively traded for whatever you were doing. And most of you are trading your lives for pennies. You are being polite with your time while the world is being predatory with your future. You have a choice. You can be liked, or you can be legendary. You cannot be both. That's the key. Most people are nice because they are terrified of conflict. They say yes to the coffee meeting they don't want. They say yes to the phone call that has no agenda. They say yes to the social event that drains their soul. Every time you say yes to a distraction, you are saying no to your goals. You are telling the universe that your mission is less important than someone else's convenience. Stop being a nice guy and start being a high performer. High performers are not nice with their time, they are ruthless. It's not about being busy, it's about being effective. Business is a badge of honor for the mediocre. It's a way to feel important without actually producing anything. You see them every day, running around, answering emails, staying in the loop, but their bank account and their body look exactly the same as they did 5 years ago. They aren't working, they are just vibrating. They are letting the world dictate their schedule instead of imposing their will on the clock. You don't need their permission to be unavailable. You don't need to explain why you didn't answer the text. You don't need to apologize for being in the dark for 12 hours a day. Your time is your life. To waste a minute is to commit a small suicide. If someone steals your wallet, you call the police. If someone steals your afternoon with a pointless conversation, you smile and nod. Why? Why do you value your paper money more than the time it took to earn it? That's the key. Treat your minutes like high-stakes currency. Because they are. I want you to conduct a 24-hour audit. Look at yesterday. Be honest. How much of it was spent on maintenance, scrolling, checking notifications, responding to things that don't move the needle? Most people bleed out 4 to 6 hours a day in this digital waiting room. That is 40 hours a week. That is a full-time job spent on nothing. Imagine if you took those 40 hours and poured them into your planner with the intensity of a dying man. You wouldn't just be successful, you would be unrecognizable. It's not about the clock, it's about the command. You must dictate the terms of your day before the world does. If the first thing you do when you wake up is check your phone, you have already lost. You have allowed the world's problems, the world's news, and the world's opinions to flood your mind before you've even set your own frequency. You are starting the day on defense. A commander never starts on defense. You have a choice. You can be a consumer of other people's time, or a creator of your own. You don't need their permission to set boundaries that make people uncomfortable. If your friends get mad because you won't hang out on a Tuesday night while you're building your empire, let them be mad. Their anger is a sign that you are outgrowing them. Their comfort is a trap designed to keep you at their level. Radical ruthlessness means cutting off the people who treat your time like it's free. It's not free. It's the most expensive thing in the room. That's the key. If you think it, you get it, but only if you have the time to build it. If you want to manifest $1 million reality, you cannot have a $10 schedule. You cannot spend CEO hours on intern tasks. You must outsource, automate, or eliminate everything that does not require your specific genius. If you are still doing your own laundry, mowing your own lawn, or arguing with strangers on the internet, you are telling yourself that your time is worth $15 an hour. And the world will be happy to pay you exactly that. It's not about arrogance, it's about alignment. Alignment with the version of you that is already successful. Does that version of you sit in traffic for 2 hours to save $5? Does that version of you sit through a meeting that could have been an email? No. They value the asset of time above all else. They understand that focus is a finite resource, and every time you switch tasks, you pay a switching cost that lowers your IQ. You have a choice. Protect your focus like a vault, or leave the door wide open for every thief who passes by. You don't need their permission to say, no. No is a complete sentence. It doesn't need a justification. It doesn't need a maybe later. Every no you say to the world is a yes you are saying to yourself. The more no's you collect, the faster your planner becomes a reality. That's the key. Your time is your life. Spend it or invest it. But never, ever give it away for free. You have reclaimed your time. You are ruthless. You have cleared the space necessary for greatness. But now that you have the time, a new enemy will emerge. It's the voice inside that tells you aren't ready. It's the feeling of not being in the mood to execute. You mastered your schedule. Now let's talk about why your feelings are the most unreliable guide in your life. Chapter 7. The Myth of Feeling Ready. Waiting to feel ready is the most socially acceptable form of suicide. It is a slow, quiet death of the soul. You think you are being cautious. You think you are being responsible. In reality, you are just a coward waiting for a guarantee that doesn't exist. Readiness is a hallucination. It is a finish line that moves every time you take a step toward it. If you wait until the fear is gone to start, you will be waiting in the same mediocre life until the day they bury you. You have a choice. You can be a prisoner of your feelings, or a master of your results. That's the key. Confidence is not a prerequisite for action, it is a result of it. Most people have the order backward. They think, feel confident, then act. The high performer thinks, act, then gain confidence. You don't build a house by feeling like a carpenter. You build a house by swinging the hammer when your hands are blistered and you're exhausted. The feeling of being a carpenter follows the work. Every time you wait for a mood to strike you, you are handing the remote control of your life over to your biology. And your biology doesn't want you to be great, it wants you to be safe. It's not about how you feel, it's about what you do. Your feelings are the most unreliable data points in your existence. They change with the weather, your blood sugar, and the last thing you read on the internet. Why would you let something so unstable dictate the direction of your legacy? Think about the professional athlete. Do you think they feel like training at 4 a.m. in the freezing rain? Do you think they feel ready when they are standing in the tunnel before the biggest game of their lives? No. They are terrified. Their muscles ache. Their mind is screaming for them to stop. But they don't listen to the scream. They listen to the mission. You don't need their permission to be a beginner who is shaking with fear. The world loves to mock the person who starts and stumbles, but the world bows to the person who refuses to stop. Fear is not a stop sign, it is a green light. It is a signal that you are finally at the edge of your comfort zone. If you aren't afraid, you aren't growing. If you feel ready, you are playing a game that is way too small for your potential. That's the key. If you're comfortable, you're stagnant. I want you to look at the do it scared protocol. Successful people don't have a lack of fear. They have a different relationship with it. They use fear as a compass. They realize that the thing they are most afraid of is usually the exact thing they need to do to break through to the next level. The myth of readiness is just a story you tell yourself so you don't have to face the possibility of failure. But here is the truth: you will fail. You will mess up. You will look stupid. So what? Looking stupid is the price of admission for becoming a legend. It's not about the state, it's about the start. The second you start moving, the readiness myth begins to dissolve. Action is a disinfectant for doubt. When you are busy working, your mind doesn't have the luxury of wondering if you're good enough. It only has time to figure out the next move. Speed is the antidote to anxiety. If you move fast enough, the voice of hesitation can't keep up with you. You have a choice. You can stay on the sidelines and analyze, or you can get on the field and play. You don't need their permission to be imperfect. Perfectionism is just waiting for readiness in a tuxedo. It's the same demon, just wearing better clothes. It's an attempt to avoid criticism. But listen to me, the only way to avoid criticism is to do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. Is that what you want? If you want to think it and get it, you have to be willing to get it wrong 1,000 times before you get it right once. That's the key. If you think it, you get it, but only if you start before the thought has a chance to die. I want you to pick one thing today, one thing you've been putting off because you don't feel prepared. I don't want you to research it. I don't want you to ask for advice. I want you to go do it. Right now. In the mess. In the fear. In the uncertainty. You will find that the moment you engage with reality, the how begins to appear. The readiness begins to grow. You forge your armor while you are in the middle of the battle, not before it. It's not about being brave, it's about being obedient. Obedient to the command you gave yourself in Chapter 1. A commander doesn't wait to feel like winning. He wins because that is the order. You have a choice. Let your emotions run your life, or let your vision run your life. You don't need their permission to be a work in progress. Stop waiting for the stars to align. The stars will never align. You align them by moving. You create the conditions you want through the force of your will. The world doesn't give you what you want because you deserve it. It gives you what you want because you demanded it through relentless action despite how you felt.